What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I'm your hostess, doing the mostest, Kivanshi, and y'all, ring that bell, baby. We are back with From Season 4 premiere. The first episode of the season is titled The Arrival. The creator, for those of you just joining us, is John Griffin. The director of this episode is Jack Bender, and the writers of this episode are John Griffin and Jeff Pinkner, and the cinematographer is Christopher Ball. Now, y'all know I love to yap at the beginning, but there was so much going on in this first episode. There's a lot to cover. I have a lot of thoughts. I got a lot of questions that I have at the end so that we can all just be in our theories, in our bags. I feel like I put this on specifically because it represents like the lines and like the geometry and the trigonometry and the calculus that's in all of our heads for these last 2 years on what the hell is going on in Middletown, but like Middletown, Middle America. At least that was the description in season 1. I don't know what we calling it these days, y'all, over there. And so we just gonna jump right in. So let's get with some previously on. So as y'all know, Boyd killed Smiley when he had the worms in his blood. And he was like, your blood is my blood, motherfucker. You know, on his Samuel L. Jackson shit. And it ended up killing Smiley. So everybody's like, yay, win for us. And then y'all know Tab got pushed from a tower at the end of season 2, and she was sent to Victor's hometown where she ran into Henry, and she got like the whole backstory on Miranda and seeing the same paintings and the kids and the visions and all of these other things. And this ties in the Miranda storyline of freeing the children. So after that, a car crash ended up leading them back into the town because Tab started freaking out. Like, oh my God, like what if this is not real? They get into a car accident. They end up in the back of the ambulance. And you have Danny Acosta who has Tab handcuffed to the back. And she's like, y'all, oh my God, we need to hurry up and get to this house. I know where it leads. And they were like, no, she's hysterical. And all hell broke loose. The two little EMTs got their throats ripped out. Danny shot somebody. It was a mess. But Tab is back in the town and nobody knows what is going on. At this point, Victor is blaming himself for his mom's death because he's just like, if I would have never told her what Christopher said about the tower, then she would have never ran back out in the middle of the night and she would be alive. Jim, as y'all know, was trying to tell Tabitha, like, no, you need to be here with these kids because in 3 days that you was gone, like, oh my God, I thought my life was gonna fall apart. And him and Tab arguing back and forth again because she's like, I'm sorry that I'm out here raising these kids, raising you, and trying to get us home. Like, why do I have to do all the work? Fatima ended up getting pregnant with a demon baby, and did nobody want to listen to her when she said that things were not normal. But Elgin was getting like all the whispering things from the kimono lady. So he kidnapped Fatima and he was like, girl, this baby is our salvation. Like, I just need you to like drink a whole bunch of blood and we're going to be out of here. So at this point, you know, Boyd ends up going to torture Elgin. But good sis Sara was like, Boyd, you ain't got what it takes. And we need to figure out what the hell is going on before this baby is born. So what did she do? She took a screwdriver and she that eye right on out of the socket. Okay. So after Fatima gave birth, it was like super frantic at the end of the last season, and Fatima's like speaking super fast, and so she's trying to say that she learned like through the blood, through the pregnancy, that the things that came out at night sacrificed their children to it. And it promised them that they would live forever. So while she's like telling this to Ellis, telling this to Kenny, Boyd is down trying to figure out like, okay, Fatima said the kimono lady went down underneath the tunnels with his baby. It's a whole ceremony. And Boyd watches this baby grow into Smiley, the thing that he killed. With all of this going on, Jade and Tab are Miranda and Christopher. It has been confirmed. So now the timeline, loop, reincarnation, etc. is confirmed in season 3. Okay, so if you was watching with your eyes closed, it's a thing. No longer a theory. And they've been coming back over and over because they failed to save the kids every time. Julie learns that she is a story walker whenever she went to the Bruins, and she ended up going to Ethan, and Ethan was like, yeah, it's like my stories. Like, that's what you are, but you can't change the past. And we found out that she was the one who dropped the rope to Boyd in season 2. So clearly at some point, she's altered a lot of these things. How much in season 1 has she altered? I don't know, y'all. That's just a question that just popped into my brain right now because I'm definitely curious. But future Julie finds present Jim after he learned the truth of the whole Ankui situation. And she's like, I need to tell a story. I need to change the story. I need to change the story. Even though her brother said, you can't change the story. And the man in the yellow suit comes out and he walks up to Jim and he was like, damn, bro. That was a hell of a song. It was a symphony. I would pay front row seats, okay? And he's like, but like all things, knowledge comes at a cost. And before he does a delicious thing, he tells him, your wife shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim. And he rips his throat clean out, okay? So now we're jumping back in. The timeline of this immediate, and the entire pace of this episode, it's like 56 to 58 minutes of just frantic, just like so many elements and so many things are going on with so many different people. We're gonna try to get through this, y'all. I promise. Walk with me. So it ain't been no time since Jim's death, and the man in yellow turns to Julie and he was like, we have to stop meeting like this. And so, boom, paying attention, this is a trigger. How many other times has he seen Julie? And more so, when? To which he even says, when did you come from this time? Out the gate, season 4 is exploring the time loops and reincarnation. What year are you and what person am I interacting with? Out the gate. This is setting the framework instantly. So he tells her there's no way to rewrite a story once it has been told. Again, Ethan told her this. But me putting my thinking cap on, I just feel like this place has been lying to everybody. And so are we saying this to keep them in a place where they're not trying to find out more answers? You know what I mean? So Julie ends up like disappearing or whatever, and he goes, what happened next is my favorite part. And you know, he's talking to Jim as he's dying and all of these different things, and it's so cold and it's so good. And out the gate you're just like, oh, season 4 is feeling like season 1. Like, it's feeling like we're getting into some murder, okay? Season 3 laid the groundwork for like all of the different nuggets and all of the different plans. And season 4 is picking it up. And we're finna take off, babes. So back in the cellar, Fatima is, again, she's telling Kenny, you know, what is going on, what she heard. And she tells them that a bargain was struck between the adults and the entity that is like governing this place, and they killed all their kids just to stay there. And I'm just like, who does that? That's crazy. We need to figure out who it is, and if it's a crossover with Stephen King, that would eat. But you know, what is it? Basically, that is like a huge question for the season. So Ellis, you know, he's like, Fatima, we need to get you out of here. And she's like, no, but Boyd's in the tunnels. And Kenny's like, listen, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna get Boyd, take her back. Like, this is a medical emergency. Like, shit is hitting the fan. Kenny goes down there. And he's like, Boyd. And, you know, he's going across whatever. And Boyd grabs him by the throat. And Kenny's like, what the fuck? Like, you could see his heart jump out of his face. And Boyd was like, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. I'm looking forward to every F-bomb because at this point, you know, we have an expansive vocabulary, but sometimes the only thing that you can say is the F-bomb. And I just feel like contractually it went up. And, you know, since it's not on linear television, there's no real, like, limit to how many we can say. I don't know. GM, is there a limit? I don't know. I feel like Boyd is reaching all of them. So Smiley ends up appearing. And so Kenny is seeing this. Boyd is seeing this. At this point, at least 2 people saw it with their own eyes. And so, you know, can 2 people have the same hallucination? Maybe. But one person seeing Smiley come to life, you might be getting manipulated by this place. 2 people? Okay, we might have a thing here. So now this is like a factual thing. Smiley is back. So Boyd, you know, him and Kenny get out, and Kenny's like, what did I just see? And Boyd's like, I looked at this blob. I watched it grow. It came out of a sack. And Smiley turned around and was like, hello, Papa. Like, that's what it was. And Kenny's just like, we can't win for losing, because that was the only win. That was it. Okay. It was the one thing that they had to hold on to. It's gone. It's shattered. Welcome to the New World Order. So back at Colony House, Donna goes and gets Christy, and she's like, girl, don't even come in here asking no questions. Go see about Elgin. And Elgin is sitting over there, and I was like, ugh. Because, oh my God, I do not like eye stuff. I'm a little bit better since I learned how to put on my own contacts and like put it in, take it out, or whatever. Shout out to the makeup team, because y'all did that. Because I was just like, like, I'm thinking about it right now. Gags. And so Danny is in there, and she got the gun, and I'm so glad Donna checked her. She was like, girl, put the goddamn gun down. I ain't even no bullets in here. Like, what are we doing? Holding on to this pistol like a pacifier? Like, can you fight? Because at this point, all somebody got to do is punch you in your face, and that's basically going to be it. So Sara ends up leaving because she was sitting out there or whatever. And was it the smart thing to do? Yeah, but y'all finna stop icing my girl out, because Christy. Anyways, so Donna ends up telling Christy what happens, but she defends Sara. And I'm like, yes, finally, because I am failing to understand how so many people are given so much grace in all of these other things. And yet when it comes to Sara, it's like she's a pariah. When you know this thing has been in her mind, and it makes me wonder if something is messing with their recent memories, because I'm like, a lot of y'all have been there since Boyd got there, which means a lot of y'all saw Boyd shoot his own wife because she was hearing things. So to know that sometimes it comes to that, and that this place pushes somebody to that point, why are we continuously pushing this person away when likely they're going to need the most surveillance to make sure that they're okay? So shout out to Donna for sticking up for Sara. Y'all know how I feel about Sara. I cape for Sara. Sara can do no wrong in my eyes. Even her wrongs are rights. It is what it is. Argue with your mama. And with that, like a few weeks ago, my stepmom even asked me, and she was like, do you feel that there's a double standard with Boyd and how he treated Sara versus how he treated Fatima when it came to both of them, you know, murdering people, and yet hiding Fatima's situation, but letting everybody know what Sara did and allowing the people to treat her the way that they treat her. And honestly, like, it's twofold. Yes, he's showing favoritism. That is his daughter-in-law. Like, it's his daughter-in-law. You know what I mean? But then I say no because it's separate circumstances. Like, what happened to Sara, there were 96 days before there was an incident. And out of nowhere, when Jim and them came into town, things started going crazy. And so Boyd didn't have the information then that he has now with Fatima. And so I feel like there may be a little bit of within the treatment of Fatima, like if I knew then what I knew now, I think he would have protected Sara a little bit more, because he leans on Sara for the specific type of connection that she has with this town. Okay. Going back to Elgin, y'all, he is fucked up. Like, it is a mess. But honestly, we're gonna get to that later. I got thoughts about that, but we're gonna get to that later. And it's not like oh, Elgin was wrong, this, that, and the third. Like, I'm not jumping on Elgin, okay? Like, that's Pooh Bear, okay? Meanwhile, the man in yellow, he's out in the woods, out in the daytime. Again, we need to figure this out, because how, my dude? And it makes me think, like, all of them probably can be out in the day. So why are they in the tunnels? What is in the tunnel? Because remember when Victor went down there and it was like, Victor, if you keep coming down here, one day we might not let you go back. They're awake. They know what's going on. So what is underneath that keeps the majority of them down there while the man in yellow is now up, roaming everything? So he's out, he's getting in the suitcase, and this looks like the suitcase that Victor had with everybody's belongings with like the stickers and stuff, but I can't really confirm, but that's the suitcase that it looks like. Back at the station, Kenny keeps bugging Boyd as Boyd is sitting there trying to count like how many bullets and stuff is going on. It's like a whole, like, there's like a trauma response happening here with both Kenny and Boyd. But Kenny is like, it's kind of naggy because Kenny ends up doing what I hate that everybody in the town does. You just seen the same shit that I saw, and you asking me to explain some inexplicable shit to you that your brain also saw. Are you running this through your mind to try to come up with some solutions of what we've seen? And so Boyd ends up going off and he's like, we had one win. One. And now I'm sitting over here counting bullets that I know ain't gonna do shit to them. And I'm also trying to figure out how many people are even left in this town to try to protect. And then how do you protect it for something that took your victory and laughed in your face? And so that gets Kenny to settle. And then Kenny says, we got 47 people. After the shit that happened a few hours ago, because at this point, like, we are working in a matter of like a week. I think all of season 3 was maybe 11 days. Maybe. So it's just been crazy. And if you notice, outside, it's nice and springy. Where's the snow? Where's the cold? So even looking at the background, again, this is a show where you need to be like, I say you have to watch it again, not because it's confusing, but there's everything in every part of this show is a clue. Whether you know what to do with it or not. It's like when cops back in the day, there was no like DNA testing or anything, but they would find like a cigarette butt or like a glove or something, and they'd be like, I don't know, one day in the future, we might be able to do something with this. And then 20 years later, you know, oh, there's this new thing with DNA. And so I feel like for us, the audience, we know more than the characters. And so, and I know it's funny that I'm saying this because boy, I swear sometimes I don't even have no grace. But I think as a viewer, there needs to be grace extended to the show, even if you don't extend it to the characters, because you know more than them. So it's kind of like a moot point to be like, why wouldn't you? They don't know. They don't have that information. And as we've continued to see for 3 seasons, they don't even talk to each other. So it's like, you got all of this stuff going on. Let's remember that you are more aware. And because of that, that means paying attention to the title card, paying attention to the woods, paying attention to the weather, paying attention to the picture in the background, paying attention to a stick sitting there and now the next frame, it's not there. Like, you really have to look. That is the fun part of this show. I love it. Okay, so in all of this, okay, back at the colony house, Elgin asked Christy if she thinks he's a bad person. Y'all, I want to slap the shit out of this girl. I know I just talked about Grace, but whatever. I'm fully immersed. She says, I used to, but now I think this place does bad things to good people. But when you walked upstairs, you was side-eyeing Sara. When, as we know now, like, she's been the most tortured, the most haunted. And then y'all got her living by herself in the house that is a constant reminder of her dead brother, whom she accidentally killed. Like, what are we... Christy get on my last nerves. How we coming out the gate of season 4 and she's shooting up to the top of my getting on my fucking nerves list is crazy. I done gave you a little bit of grace for that fuck ass haircut. And it's honestly, it's kind of cute over the last, week or so with it kind of growing out. She may be playing with some mousse or something that she found. But either way, I'm just like, this is so hypocritical of you. And I'm tired. I'm tired. Christy gets on my last nerves. Mariel, Andy girl. So Elgin is freaking out, right? And Christy, what did I write down? Somebody, y'all, I got so many notes over here. I don't even know what I was talking about. Delete, rewind, forget that I said that because I don't even know what the hell is going on. Anyway, back in the woods, so Tabitha comes back and she finds her present day children. So remember, at the end of season 3 and the beginning of this episode, we're seeing a Julie with like this chopped haircut. And it's very clear that this is a Julie from the future. So when I say she comes back to her present day kids, again, we're playing with time. So there's going to be some times where I'm talking about like, okay, what's now, what's whatever. And as she comes back, a car comes careening in out of nowhere and it ends up crashing. So you got Tab, Boyd, and Kenny helping to get them free. And then you see that it's a priest and his daughter. Now, we saw this priest at the beginning. He saw the tree. We knew what was up. We knew what was up, okay? And I thought in this scene, it was very interesting that a Bible was used to free Sophia. And I say it's interesting because this place is a hellhole. And so it was just ironic that the thing to save Sara from decapitation was a God that seemingly is not listening to any of their prayers. I may be thinking too deep into it. I know y'all are just like, well, he's a priest. There's a Bible sitting right there. But like, again, this is a show. It doesn't show you anything by accident. And I'm like, for the Holy Bible to be shown on the screen on camera like that, I'm like, It's giving irony. It's giving laughing in their face because the Bible is saving her, but it's not saving y'all. So Jade pulls up. The ambulance is there with Mariel. Randall is there, like, helpful on his own. I mean, getting slashed in the face will do some things to you. And even some of the other townspeople are like, oh, tell me what to do, whatever. And it's like, okay, let's get everybody situated. So Mariel tells Boyd that, I think she tells Boyd that, yes, it was a seizure. So she said, Sophia said that he had a seizure. So they got her out of the car. He's like unresponsive. And Mariel was like, I'm not sure that anything medical is going on because Elgin had a seizure on the bus. when we came. And then Boy was like, oh shit, like Sara had a seizure before all of this stuff started happening. So Mariel's like, we just gotta watch him and just see what happens when he wakes up. And now this is a little nugget, because now you're thinking like, okay, Mariel having a seizure, she gets trapped with Julie and Randall. Elgin has a seizure, the kimono lady is talking to him. So then you're like, okay, is this guy gonna wake up weird? Like, what's really going on? You know what I mean? But it also tells us inexplicable medical situations are directly tied to the presence getting ready to make an entrance into that person's mind or psyche or whatever. It's like those demon movies where the person is getting all these random bruises and stuff. It's like the demon is knocking on you and looking for a door to get in. And if you're making them have a seizure and you're scrambling their brains, you can kind of alter their mental status in order to find a pathway in to their mind. Okay, so like I feel like that's a thing. Okay, and it may come back up. So after everything calms down, kind of, Jade wants to talk to Tab about the kids, but she's like, bruh, I don't know what's happening. This ain't Eric Badu. I got a man. Leave me alone. And so I'm like, okay, girl. But Tab is back on her. We don't even know that it's real. How do we even know? And I'm just like, all crazy shit that had happened. And now we're back here and she pisses me off, because I feel like if Tabitha just leans into the inexplicable, we might get out faster. But it's like she takes 10 steps forward and then jumps into a pit and covers her eyes and ears, rocking back and forth, talking about, I don't wanna. Like, girl, do you wanna get home or not? It can't be both at this point. There's a significant amount of knowledge that you just learned, that Jade is trying to, talk to you about it. And you're like, it's not real. I got a man. Okay, and what's the state of that relationship? If we keep it in a bud. So what? Piss me off. So back at Colleen's house, Danny is leaving and she ends up running into Boyd. Danny is another one that's on nurse. I don't know that it's gonna let up anytime soon. But anyways, she was like, listen, all y'all some monsters, especially you. And she says, this is what you are now. All of you people are fucking monsters. And I'm gonna be real though. I hate to say it, but even a broken clock is right twice. Yeah, it's changing them. And I think I talked about this in season 3. Like, I don't think they're realizing that the morally right and wrong went from gray to whatever this is. Like, nobody really gets to say someone is bad or like a bad person, or like, oh, you shouldn't talk to them because they did this. Because all of the key players, you're covering up something. So just because you didn't commit the crime doesn't mean that you are an accessory after the fact. And by saying like, oh, well, if we told everybody, it would just be crazy. You're still covering up and lying about some things. And you're not even affording anybody the opportunity to be mad or anything. Like, y'all aren't even trying to package it in a way that is palatable for them to understand without losing their minds. So like, yeah, for a little bit, like, y'all are the very things that haunts us. But at the same time, Danny girl, this superiority complex, I don't know, like, she's taking longer than Jade to really just accept, like, this is your life, girl. Like, yeah. Now, did you come in and see, like, I don't know, Danny ain't got a break since she got in there, but girl, welcome to the club, okay? That 96 days shit is over, girl. This is the new normal. I'm sorry you're here. Should have listened to Tab. Here we go, okay? I also feel like she's still dealing and processing the guilt of killing Nikki, and she keeps telling herself because it was an accident, she's not like them. And so she doesn't associate the killing as something that would make her different or alter her. But it's like, whether it was an accidental killing or murder, you still changed and you killed because the place here put you in position to do so. So you're not immune to any type of influence. So she ends up going to the diner, and y'all, the jukebox started playing this song called Send in the Clowns by Judy Collins, and I died. Cause girl, you look like a fool. You look like a fool. So Christy is in there with Fatima, and she's doing a debrief. And Fatima, people do not like Fatima. That's crazy. I don't like dislike her, and I don't know that I ever cared, but a lot of people are like, oh, that storyline with her was crazy or this, that, and the third, and it's like, it's not. She literally gave birth to a clue. What are we doing? So she's in there, and Christy's like, oh, sweetie, tell me what happened. And Fatima's like, tell you what happened about the baby that you told me I was making up? When I said that my stomach was growing and I said that something was wrong and you told me that I was making it up. You told me it was in my head. You told me that this place does things to people. That's what you want to know what happened, babes? Fuck out my face. And I was like, yes, clock her. Because I'm just tired of Christy. This superiority complex, this, like, girl, you didn't even finish medical school. And I know it's like, okay, Kimachi, like, listen, she been getting a lot of on-the-job training. But ew, she just gets on my nerves the way she flip-flops and treats people. If you want to hold on to some Hippocratic oath or whatever, then when you're interacting with people, you're gonna have to be neutral, girl. Tell your fiance how you really feel, but when you're interacting with them, you're going to have to be unbiased. Otherwise, why would I think you would actually care for me if I'm hurt, if I know that you can't stand me to my face? That don't even make no sense. I wouldn't even trust you. So, like, where do we go from here? Okay, girl. And so I feel Fatima. So Boyd ends up coming in there, and it's Boyd, Donna, Fatima, Ellis, and Christy. And Boyd's like, all right, y'all, we got a breather. Fatima and Dad burst to that motherfucker to be killed, y'all. I don't know. I don't know the logistics, but it is what it is. And everybody's like, are you sure? And Boyd's like, listen, if Kenny wasn't there, I would have thought I was going crazy. But no, he's definitely alive. So, yeah. Don't know how we're gonna make it out of this one. And so it's just crazy. It is crazy. But I'm like, okay. Finally, we are sharing info. And Fatima even shares that she saw what they did and how they became what they are. But apparently it's still like hazy in her memory. And then like a traumatic thing just happened. A monster was just ripped out of her clues. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to give my girl 3 hours at least. Some. I don't know. But it's just a lot. And so when you really look at the timeline of things, there is no break now. And when you think about how this place is not giving them a break, this leads to exhaustion. You can die from a lack of sleep. So even if the place doesn't take them, they're gonna die because they're not getting any adequate rest. They're gonna start hallucinating on their own, and it has nothing to do with this place, because that is what happens when you have sleep deprivation, and it is keeping them in a state of panic and a state of hypervigilance to the point where they will rot on their own. So Julie is with her mom, and Jim is not back. like, Mom, fuck all this bullshit and this frou-frou shit that you be telling Ethan. Where is my dad? And Tabitha's like, listen, he grown. I trust it. We gonna try to make it. But then, of course, when Ethan asks, here go Tabitha, lying. He's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, you know your dad. And Julie's like, hey, remember when Mom was gone and all we had was our faith? Let's trust that. And in that moment, I'm like, Tabitha, you need to be a better mama. Because the smart thing was for Julie to tell him to lean on faith than to promise him something that we all know you can't keep. Even for us, the audience, knowing that Jim is dead, that is not a promise that you can keep. You can say, let's pray and hold on to our faith and trust whatever. Trust that he has the skills that he can take care of himself. But to continue to lie to him, it just reminded me of season 1, episode 1. Julie in there telling himself, here goes Tabitha. No, son, no. Julie telling himself, no, son, no. And it's like, why are we lying? Why are we sheltering him? And the more he's sheltered, the less he's armed with the things to be able to survive. Y'all already can't keep the boy still. He's gonna be somewhere by himself someday. We've seen it. Running out of the house all hours of the night. Like, let's, within, childhood reason, let's stop lying. Okay? Let's stop. So, back at the hospital, Sophia's getting stitched up. We're looking at the bruises and the cuts and the scrapes when Kenny, he's the resident, hey y'all, we're never leaving guy. And, he's explaining to her why she can't call her mom. And she ends up seeing the talisman. And she's like, what is this? And Kenny is telling her, don't touch it. It only works when it's hanging. And she was like, why? He was like, I don't know. If y'all remember when Randall was holding it up when he came off the bus, and he was holding it up when they were surrounding him, and they were like, oh, sweetie, that's not how that works. Like, I'm gonna need you to figure this out. So we're getting more nods to the talismans and what their purpose is. And I feel like there is a greater purpose to the talisman. Because why do they have to be hung up? Or is that something that y'all just stay with because you didn't try anything else? So we know you can't just walk with it. So, like, other than hanging, what else can be done? We know that inside of the house, if you still let people in, they can come in. So the amount of it keeping you out, I'm still like a little confused by, because remember Megan, good old May from the pilot, opened up that window. That man opened up that window to that slaughterhouse. Ethan has opened up the door I don't know how many times. And in the barn, even when they went inside and Boyd put the talisman up on the door, they were already inside, so it didn't affect them. So, like, will we find out what these talismans can actually do? Or is it just a placebo? Can they just come into those houses anytime they want? Because there's been a few different variations of them being around those talismans, and it didn't do a damn thing. So, she's taking things in stride, okay? She's holding on to her faith, and she asked Kenny to pray with her, and again, Kenny's like, bitch, God is not answering nobody's prayers, but okay, girl. But, like, by the point in this story, today has been so long that I forgot that Donna didn't even know that a car came to town. Like, so much happened in this episode. And then Donna's like, all right, y'all, who wants some fucking lunch? Like, it is what it is. And so, she's getting filled in on all of the things that's going on. And it was at this point that I asked myself, I gotta ask myself, what's it gonna be, babe? Am I gonna save myself? What's it gonna be? They're not gonna save themselves, because why the fuck are we still living apart? It's only 47 of y'all. Everybody needs to be in Colony House. Why are we moving around as if things are normal? It's not normal. It's not normal. What is going on? At this point, I would rather everybody be together and it's just like, all right, y'all, like, shit hitting the fan. Like, we just gonna be scared, but like in the daytime, we're gonna do our chores. But at night, we doing a head count. We doing a full-blown accountability check. They're still living separate lives. This is crazy. So the fact that all of this stuff is happening and Donna's just now finding out about this car, she one of the top people that need to know. That should tell you something. This independence that y'all trying to hold on to, let it go. So, Boyd, he is going through some things, okay? And he's talking and telling Donna, like, you know, what happened and the girl, and she's like 15, 16, and she's probably gonna die here. And so Christy's like, no, not you. You can't say that. And I'm like, shut your self-righteous ass up. And it's just like, you know, here's where I'm gonna insert as a black man. Because all y'all sat y'all asses up in that town at that town hall meeting when Tabitha came back and jumped on his head. But then when he's trying to express himself or at least voice the thoughts that's in his head, y'all shut him down with this self-righteousness. And then you want to be like, you can't because if you break down, what does that mean about everybody else? Bitch, I'm human. What do you mean? It means y'all should be scared. If you act scared, then they're going to be scared. Look around, girl. What are we doing? What are we doing? We should be scared. Fucking nerves. She's on my nerves. So, anyways, so Ellis is left alone in the room with Boyd, right? They like, give us a little break. And Ellis is trying to tell Boyd that Christy was right. And finally, Boyd breaks down. And he's like, I can't. Yo, mom, all of these people dying, like, I cannot. Because will I be in a situation where I have to kill somebody else? That is what this place is doing to me. And, you know, Ellis sees this and he offers comfort to his dad, but Ellis be pissing me off too, because it's the second time in a pivotal situation you sided with some people outside of your daddy. Sir, you're not in a honeymoon, babes. Your wife just gave birth to a monster, baby. I'm gonna need you to start using your brain. When are you gonna be on your dad's side? You wasn't on his side with his mama. You wasn't on his side at the town hall. You're barely on his side right now. What are we doing? This man is holding on by a thread and y'all are putting everybody's fears and the responsibility of everybody's lives on a single man. Mind you, that was getting picked off before he even came. So like, what are we doing? When are we gonna allow space for Boyd to break down? All of y'all have broken down. All of y'all have been crippled by events. Every single one of you. This man has had to shoot the woman he's known longer than you in her head so that she wouldn't kill other people. Nobody has been in that situation. And I don't care like how many people, oh, Sara did this and got all these visions and Elgin and all these other things and Jade. Nobody that we know of right now has had to look at their loved one, turn a gun on their other loved one after watching her snipe 6 other people in your face with some already on the ground, and you have to shoot the love of your life. I'm sorry. It's never not gonna be at the front of my mind with Boyd. And he got Parkinson. Get me out of here. Get me out. I want to fight everybody. Boyd, get behind me. Get behind me. I'm about to take this little puff out, bro. I'm about to beat their ass. So, Tab is back at home. And, you know, they trying to rest or whatever. And there's this noise in the kitchen. And so they sit up and I sit up. And Ethan, you know, we can always count on Ethan to, you know, ask the obvious fucking question. What was that? We're sitting here. 1, 2, 3. 3 of us are sitting here. Nobody's in the kitchen. This family, annoying is in their DNA. Like, annoying, they've been annoying since season. Y'all need to watch my first review. I ate them up. I don't even know if it was a review so much as me saying how they get on my nerves. So they end up going in the kitchen, and then out of nowhere, shit starts flying everywhere, and I'm like, what in the Carrie at a White is going on? What's going on? It's getting crazy up in here. Like, we know that they can manipulate things, obviously, with the radio, with the phone, and all these other situations, and, the waking dreams and all of that. But it's like, my word, can they take a nap, please? So, Sophia, they're back at like the little medic place or whatever. And she goes in and she's checking in on Kenny. It's been a long day. And Kenny done fell asleep at the desk. Like the one with your head be bobbing and shit. He finally lost the war and he's trying to get some sleep. But then she ends up going to her father's bedside. And, she's placing her hands on him. And it's like, oh my God, like we're about to pray. And then she's like, wake up. And he opens his eyes and is like, okay. And she tells him, you played a very special role in a very important story. And we end up seeing what happened in that car. Babes, that is not his daughter. She was not in the car when he came upon that tree, okay? And she tells him, I couldn't come to them as I was, not with everything they learned. Bitch, Sophia is the man in the yellow suit. So there's that, guys. Crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Let's get into these thoughts. Got plenty. First, the people of Catalina house are still useless. Like, other than like those little 3 people that came for the car crash, I'm so tired of seeing them milling about in the background and just otherwise taking up space, taking up oxygen, and taking up food, supplies, and resources. What do you do? Still trying to figure that out, okay? Tabitha and Danny, babes, they get on my last nerves. They're going to be the death of me. Tab, Danny, and now Christy. I'm just like, oh my God. It's like the trio of aggravation. I cannot do this. Then with Danny though, when she was like, you're all monsters. I wrote down, like, I believe this because this goes back to the connection of the parental sacrifice. I literally feel like when she said that, she may have been thinking like, oh, all of the deeds and stuff that y'all did is making you monsters. If we're saying that everybody is on some type of loop, not just Christopher and Miranda and everybody, then they are the literal monsters. They just aren't turned yet. So I feel like that being said is twofold. Of course, like I said, I wrote in here, ever since Christy got her haircut, she been on my nerves. Elgin's physical and psychological abuse by the town. So this is what I was going to touch on earlier, but I wanted to keep it here. Let's sit and talk about Elgin, okay? Elgin had a seizure before he came. Immediately after, like, bad things started happening to him. And you got to think about, like I said, think about like demon movies that you've seen, but also think about abusers, right? He's getting attacked in these incremental ways that nobody can really confirm, right? We saw how he almost got drowned and all of these different things, but it was like nobody really wanted to believe that something drowned him. They just wanted to say he fell asleep and almost drowned. So all of these things are happening to Elgin. Right away, when you show people that they don't believe you, he's not going to tell you anything. So things kept happening to Elgin to the point where he's now isolated. The moment he was isolated, the moment that door was getting beat on and they found an entrance and he's to himself, now comes like the love bombing, if you will, the I'm sorry for hurting you. If you do this, I will never do it again. Enter the kimono lady. Oh, help me. I need your help. Save everyone. And he's already been used to isolating. He's been used to not telling anyone anything. And this level of abuse, you didn't really see it with Abby, even though Ellis brought it up in season 1 where he was like, I was telling you something was going on with her. I was telling you that she was acting weird. You kept wanting to go out and make this place a home, this, that, and the third. So like, it's been alluded to, right? And everybody just threw Sara ass to the wayside. Nobody even wanted to listen to her. The only person who listened to her was Father Cochran. So we didn't really see the intricate level of abuse that Abby and Sara went through. But we saw it through Elgin in the lengths in which they go, so that it ends up answering the question, well, why would Sara do that? She knows this place is bad. Well, what good things did it do to Sara before she was pliant enough to do the bad thing that they asked? What gifts did they give her? What treats did they leave along the way? And you really get to see that in Elgin, which then shows you that this season is likely going to explore that space. Because if that is the case, then all of them are susceptible to the same type of manipulation. So they're a danger to each other and they don't even know it yet. Victor and Henry are roommates now, and it was so cute. I love their relationship. It's like, I feel like Bright Spot is too joyous, but it's the thing that makes me smile in the show. And just the actors' chemistry is superb. Like, protect them at all costs, please. Fatima may know more than the last group of people that were there as far as like this bargain goes. And I feel like this pregnancy may be the key. I feel like there's a bunch of keys, and I brought this up in my finale of season 3, and I'm just like, everybody has a key piece to the puzzle. But if we don't talk to each other, how are we putting the picture together? But I think that is going to be a major key, because how do you know? And if you know, then how can we tap into those memories to get that information pulled out? Also, just like based on this episode, Harold Perrineau, give him his flowers, okay? Like, people keep acting like Boyd ain't went through nothing. And the whole breakdown moment, I loved it so much. Like, is it fun to watch Harold just go around cussing and just being frustrated and just like trying to figure it out? I feel like it's like a pinball machine at this point. Like, you go into this area, then you go into that area, and right when it slows down, something hits you and go back somewhere else. And so to really get like a good breakdown out the gate, it felt really good to just watch him in his dramatic bag. Like, I love Harold so much. Harold, I love you. It was incredible. Give him his flowers, y'all. Speaking of flowers, y'all, Sophia is about to give them hell. So the actress, her name is Julia Doyle. Babes. Y'all know I love the monsters. I want to be a monster on season 5. From casting director, season 5, cast me. I will be available. Tell me what y'all need. When is the casting call? Like, hook me up. I want to be a monster so bad. And Julia as Sophia who's playing like the man in yellow. Like even the transformation scene when they were like doing like the body contour thing and the way she was doing her arms, I'm like, yo, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. And it's so good too. Like, we're not just getting like new people in the town, but we're getting like a villain with a face. And they're walking amongst them. He didn't lose no powers. So what is he about to do to them? Oh my God. Ah, that's gonna be so good. Woo. Now, moving on to questions that need answer. I have so many questions. 1, what is it? Okay. And because of the pregnancy, will Fatima get visions, or will it be like, I got a feeling, woo-hoo. Like, what are we doing? I'm very curious as to how that's gonna roll out. How many times has the man in yellow seen Julie? Because if Tab is Moreno, then we can deduce that Julie and Ethan are Victor and his sister. And so then like that ties in the theory that everybody is somebody. Because again, a priest died, a priest came. Now did this priest die again? Yes. But you know, we're assuming that Jim is Henry. Can they both exist in the same timeline? Or does it have to be one or the other? So there's just so many different things when he said, when are you? And when he's like, oh, we have to stop running into each other like this. How many times? How many times are you gonna apologize about the same thing? Like, I need to know. Let's see. Okay. Still on the man in yellow / Sophia. So we're just going to go with Sophia. How can they walk in the daytime? So this goes back to my earlier thing. Like, I think all of them can. Is he it, or is he second in command to it? Because the level of powers that we're seeing just in this short moment, it's just giving. It's giving Bowser, babes. It's giving final boss. Like, I don't even know. And if that's the case, then that means that his presence marks a new massacre. No bueno, babes. I already talked about the talismans a little bit earlier, but yeah, I need to bring that back up. What do these talismans do? I don't know how far back they will go, but I just feel like based on the events of this episode, there's just so many things tying into the 3 previous seasons that I'm like, we need to figure out these talismans. There has to be another way. Like, can they be weaponized? Like, why aren't they walking in, but when you open the door they can? Does it lose its potency? Is it potent at all? But we saw when Boyd went into the caves that they did not go in. And so it's like, I want to believe that the talismans is this place's way of being in some type of like good and evil balance. But I don't know, man. It's giving placebo effects. Again, I'm never going to stop asking, why the fuck is everybody still spread out? Never going to stop asking that. I don't understand. Me and my stepmom and my wife and my dad, like, we were rewatching it and we're like, why are they not sleeping in the living room again all together? Like, we're gonna have to do something. I'm not sleeping alone. Promise you. And lastly, you know, I think this is the question that everybody has, you know, are they ever going to make it out? that's gonna wrap up this episode, y'all. Like I said, that was a lot. We are over an hour right now. But listen, I feel like I got through that pretty quick, okay? What do y'all think? I have so much going on in my brain. It is insane. I definitely feel like, we don't got any answers. Like, honestly, I just feel like I don't want to say season 3 was a filler season, because things definitely happened in that season. But if I had to look at it with all of the seasons, it definitely was the thing that gave the most clues and kind of laid out a map. Do we know how to read the whole map? No. But the show has given us so far everything we need to then go back and answer these things. Especially if we know that Julie is a story walker. Go back. Like, start to go back and look at those events, because I feel like they're going to come back up. They're playing in our faces, and I love that. And for, it being like, oh, well, season 3, it didn't tell us anything. Well, I mean, it got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't know, do what you will with that information. But it was the most story telling season. And it shattered all of their comfort, and it shattered everything that they thought they knew. And in that shattering, it told the audience a little bit more about the place that they are. So the characters are lost, but we, the audience, we should not be lost. Like, the context and the content is there. And based on this first episode, I don't even it was a long episode and so much was happening. I love the pacing of this episode. I feel like this episode answered a lot while still opening up a new can of questions for this season, and really just being like, hey, this is what we're going to ask now. And it's rooted in the past. And because there is just no time between these seasons. I mean, the ending of season 8 and the ending of season 3 and the beginning of season 4 is a matter of seconds. It's just seconds. So we have to I don't know if we have to. I don't think this show is going to give us any time. I'm like, you have to allow time. Ain't no time. So we're going to have to be looking and, leaning on each other and internet sleuths and stuff like that, and stop telling each other, no, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Like, no, everybody needs to put their clues together, just like everybody needs to put their clues together in this show, okay? So last time I'm speaking on that. What else? Yeah, phenomenal. Phenomenal. And if you kind of want to get a sense of the rest of the season, there's an article on this season, the first 6 episodes. So I did get the honor of reviewing it, wrote an article on www.sothere'sthatpodcast.com. The link will be in the description box, but it'll give you a little vibe of what to expect. No spoilers whatsoever. Not getting them here, not leaking shit, find it somewhere else. But it's gonna give you a little bit of a vibe of what's happening. But from what I've seen so far, incredible. And I'm gonna be here every Sunday, 10 o'clock, with y'all, trying to figure it out, because I don't know what the hell going on either, y'all. I haven't a clue. And it's like brilliant writing. It's just brilliant writing. I want to write like this. I want to write like this. This is crazy. It's excellent. Definitely see another 100% season. But if not, all their seasons are over 90%, and it averages a 96% as a series. It's incredible. What an episode. What an episode. And yeah, before I sign out, I'm just gonna say, let's keep a patch on Elgin's eye. I'm sorry. I don't know. But y'all know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments in the comments box below. You can follow me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where you can find film and TV news and updates. I also put links to my articles there in my links within the bio, as well as in my story. You can just find me talking about things that I do not do podcasts on, because right now I have to like distribute my time across platforms and the way I deliver information. So article writing on shows that y'all may be interested in comes a little bit quicker than podcast episodes, but you know, I'm just one girl. I'm just a girl. You can find me on Twitter, the official podcast Twitter at Pod. So there's that, where I post on there. I interact with people, different podcasts. I post links to the article. I'm in the threads with different TV shows and stuff that I'm watching, shows that I'm reporting on, things like that. And again, film and TV news and updates, just quick information that you can find on that platform. You can also find me on my main Twitter page at Kivanchi, where I'm talking about everything, film, entertainment, and music, babes. I'm there, okay? What else? Do I have any news, any updates? No, I'm gonna be here every Sunday with y'all, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And is that it? That's it, y'all. I'm out. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next podcast episode.